calling Thomas Walsh. He's our Senior Vice President of Construction, I'm the leader of construction. We also have Christopher DeRose here in the audience, also with the construction team. He's our project executive for the Rome Yards project. And we're just here to give you guys an update and also just let this be a conversation. We want to hear from you as far as any feedback or things that you have in mind, or hope to answer as best as we can. Just any questions that you guys might have about the current phase of construction, future phases, and so forth.
So when we have one of these meetings each quarter, so those are 3 quarters.
So this is just a rendering of what phase 3 is going to look like. This is the current phase of construction, the one that kind of just a couple feet away you kind of see, like, obviously being built right now.
So I named it very good reason, so all that, so during the planning, development process, everything was really taken the name for a property, the sequence was going and it changed. So we call this Rome Phase 3A, but it's being built first. That's sort of the structure.
So just to remind everybody of kind of what the broader master plan is, or the intention behind, I mean, it's really going to be almost like a campus-wide development. Go ahead, Tom. So the master plan is comprised of 904 existing units at P647 Deeper at AMI is 140% below. As part of the current phase 3, that's also going to have 5 of the work units. The work training center, right, which is going to be part of the garage. We're going to have retail space throughout the entire campus, a cultural center, and the Riverwalk expansion. Right. And just to hone in under phase 3A, currently the actual phase of the construction, it's going to be a 204 mixed income development. 58 of the units are going to be set aside for household burning up to 20% of the AMI, and at 60% of the AMI, 160 at 80% of the AMI, and 50 units are going to be at 40% of the AMI.
Does anyone want a little explanation of what the A and I and something is like? Could you like,
Sure. So, in sort of like the affordable housing industry, in the field, a lot of the regulations, a lot of the funding, is tied to around the concept of the AMI, it's the area median income. And so, the area median income. So it's kind of like the benchmark. So when we talk about, 20% of the AMI, it's 20% of whatever the area median income is for a given county. So when it comes to the state of Florida, we have counties. Some of them are obviously a little bit more economically developed than others. So in some different counties, the area median income might be a lot higher than other counties. So for example, in South Florida, the area median income I think is close to $1,000, and in Palm Beach County, it's also kind of high. But in other parts of the state of Florida, you get area median incomes that are a lot lower. And so,
and how do you feel about getting an AMI for like district?
So that's actually kind of it's some kind of consensus through the state of Florida. We get that based on information. So the state of Florida actually compiles that through what's called the Florida Housing Financial Solutions, and they get that data from HUD, from the Department of Housing and Urban Development, which kind of gets that data from the community. And
It's not data we produce, it's
correct.
data we gather, that's what we can pay.
Correct.
And so basically when we say 20% AMI, it means 20% of the units that we lose renting would be for the average income of people in this general area.
Yeah, I can maybe come maybe for the next community meeting, kind of give you guys a better idea of kind of rent levels, income levels, if there's any interest in kind of digging into that a little bit further. But
This is 20% like, so 20% above?
so if we assume, for example, just that the area median income, just as for sake of example, right, is 100,000, then 20% of the area median income for those 58 units, you're basically saying, we're basically saying for those 58 units, we're reserving this for families that are earning 20% of 100,000. So it's more $25,000, whatever the prescribed 20% of the AMI is for that given income bracket.
So if the government do their census and information, say, the average person here, you know, family or individual is making $60,000 a year, right? That means that like 20% AMI, so if they're making the average is $60,000, 20% is $12,000. So you would have 58 units that would be affordable to people that are making approximately $12,000 a year.
Right.
Yes.
I think if it's okay, I'm happy to maybe come back to this at the end just because it's a little bit technical, and I'm also happy to pull like the income limits from the Florida Housing Finance Corporation.
I think generally you gave them.
Yeah.
I didn't want them to like just let's go by and I know what it was.
Right.
So it's a way of making sure that it's an affordable housing project and that it really is affordable housing project. And that's how we typically you can already do this.
What's up, Joe?
So I actually am pulling out the limits from the Florida Housing Finance Corporation website to just give you guys an example for Hillsborough County, the 2025 income limits, if we're talking about, so the median income in Hillsborough County is $98,400. So when we talk about these units that are going to be reserved at 3% AMI, that refers to income limits. So let's say if you're a family of 2 and you're earning 20% AMI, your income limit to be able to apply for one of these units is $16,680. But in turn, if we're talking about one of the higher brackets, like the 80% or the 140% AMI, so let's look at the 140%, that income limit for a household of 2 people at the 140% bracket is $1,600,000. So 116,760. So that's kind of how in affordable housing projects that are affordable and workforce, you kind of cater to a broad audience because you kind of want different members of the community to kind of come together and be able to afford to live in your residential community.
Different financial brackets.
Right. So just to quickly finish off.
I'm just curious, how often does that change? Annually?
On an annual basis. Right. And that change is communicated just broadly to the affordable housing community through the Florida Housing Finance Corporation, which is basically the state of Florida's affordable housing finance bank, you can think of it, because they receive money from the state of Florida, also from the federal government, and their sole job is to recycle out those funds and run them out to developers who apply for their RFPs and stuff. But every year this is actually going to get released the new AMI limits for 2026 in the next coming weeks, 2 to 3 weeks by the state of Florida.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that the reason why they're able to bring those numbers down so low is because Tampa Housing Authority is coming in with that voucher program, and that means really low-income people are able to get part of this project. So it's a joint project with Tampa Housing Authority and the related group, and that's how we're able to bring those numbers down so low.
Thank you for mentioning that, Mr. Adams, because actually, yeah, you're right. Those 58 units at the 20% AMR are specifically the ones that are going to have the project-based vouchers with the Tampa Housing Authority. That's a great segment. Okay. So as part of this phase, we're also going to have a workforce training center in partnership with the West Tampa CDC, East Tampa CDC, which I don't know if you want to maybe introduce yourself, Mr. Randolph, to those.
Yeah, just quickly, my name is Michael Randolph, and I'm with the West Tampa Community Development Corporation. We have the vice chair here, Joe Robinson, everybody know him. We're really benefiting from this deal by way of the Community Benefit Center, because what we bring into West Tampa is a technology, wealth building, and job creation center. That means we're going to be creating businesses and jobs as well. It's so important that we do this, because if the only thing you're doing development and you're not doing anything to lift up the people, well, the people leave. That's our strategy, to make sure everybody stays and this become an inclusive project for everybody. Thank you very much.
Just to keep going, this is, I mean, there's no better, this isn't really doing justice kind of actual civil construction, because on your way over here as a drive, it's a little bit more further along now than these pictures are about a week or two old. actually beginning on the 10th floor concrete pour, tomorrow early morning. I don't know if you want to say a little bit.
But actually, we go to the 11th floor, and yes, it basically will pour the roof slab. It's actually up to the by the 26th. So that's always a celebrating day because it's sort of somewhat out of the concrete business, they had to finish the building, so that the June 26th is a great milestone for us.
Do you want to do this?
Yeah, so our community benefits, the bid update that we have with the city of Tampa, we have basically, goals or commitments for local workers, which right now we're at 23% of our workers on site are from the local area residents. So how do we verify that? Well, speaking of the real wage project, all the subcontractors have to submit certified payroll. That's stamped signed by certified accountant. And we check those certified payrolls with the people on site. So we have the names of the people, the home addresses of the people, the phone numbers of the people, in our accounting system through payroll. And we also go on the site and interview them to make sure that everyone is who they're supposed to be. So we verify all the workers both personally and through our certified payroll process. So that's how we know that we have a number of local workers in the area every day. As far as contracting with minority business owners, contracting companies, right now we're at approximately 50% of the contracts, of our contract value, 50% by minority business owner. And we're working on, multiple more contracts, subcontracts to increase that number with a lot of local subcontractors.
Do you know what percent of that 50% is actually coming from West Tampa? Or is this a total number, or is it just West Tampa? What does that number look like in terms of West Tampa?
That number, 50% number,
It's like,
is
yeah.
here.
No, I don't think
Is
it's
that it? So
It's like 52%.
of businesses, of actual subcontractors on site, that's for this one project, over 3 acres. So right now, 50% of our contract value built the project, as of right now, is contracted to subcontractors that are City of Tampa minority business owners.
Yeah, but of that percent, do you know what percent are coming from West Tampa, residents coming from West Tampa? You don't have those numbers, that's okay. You can always get back with me.
I don't know.
We don't, we could try to,
I mean, I can find out everything enough just off the top of my head.
Okay.
Where each company is located and stuff like that.
I have a question. How do you all disseminate the information to the minority businesses? How do they get it?
So there's several ways. There's, City of Tampa has a registry of minority businesses. We have that. We engaged a local minority business company, to help us with our pre-construction efforts. We have, a long list of their minority company, general contractor. They have a long list of minority business owners. We have a website, so people can see that. So when we put our invitation to bid out, we get as many local minority businesses that we get feedback on from particular Tampa Housing Authority, gave us their list of vendors that they use that are minority business owners. So through those different resources, we want to search for.
we're also gonna come back to that because that's a great point, and one of the other reasons why we're obviously very happy to be here and, kind of restart and kick off community meetings, because we think this is a really good way to also help spread the word, or people here that are not necessarily yourselves, but you might know. So the last slide, I kind of talked a little bit more about how to proceed, how to get back in the loop with the invitation to bid for the next phase. That's currently agreeable.
Yes, that, so like opportunities are not passed just because there's one building under construction, there's multiple buildings.
So just to talk about, I guess, the future phases. This is phase 4. It's currently gonna be 230 single units. The AMI breakdown is up above, but it has 35 units at 20%. Basically, the range is from 20% of AMI to 120% of AMI. For this phase itself also, we're very happy to, as Mr. Randolph kind of mentioned before, to work in partnership with the Tampa Housing Authority, because we're also happy to report that we're gonna have project-based vouchers on this phase as well. It's also
This
gonna
is the next one under construction.
correct. It's currently in the pre-development phase. We're actually working closely with the Tampa Housing Authority, with the City of Tampa, the Housing Department, so that we can try to get to a closing in mid-May or at the end of May. And fingers crossed we'll get there, and then construction will begin in June, July, and summer is what we're projecting. And as part of this phase, we're going to have for retail. There's going to be green space, a fitness path. We're going to continue on the East West River Walk. And we're also going to help paint the elementary center as part of this current phase. And then just to get to kind of actually that question at the end about how we can kind of get plugged in. So for the next phase, we're very happy to invite you all or just interested subs. And the way to kind of receive the ITP package is by emailing the colleagues here, Divyashu or Dip for Short or Annabelle. If you guys want to take a picture, or I'm also happy to kind of, get you in touch, or if you want to email me, I can give you your email addresses. But their intent is to circulate the invitation to the package in early May. Follow up with them, or you can also follow up with myself. Oh, Tom. I think that's all we really had as far as updates currently what's under construction.
Yeah, that's what's under construction right now.
Yeah, this is Romeo Art Space 3.
Go back one slide, please. This is the next one going, so this is what we're building now. This is a dog park. This is the next one starting. This is our one. Again, after this starts, we're going to go across the street, as mentioned, start.
Joey, I can go back to the master plan.
Yeah, you know. So, right, so this is what's under construction here. This is the one that's starting next on Oregon. And all this green area goes with this. So this will be all ice skate, landscape, green area as well. Then we go across the street here, work at this site. And almost simultaneously or not there long after, we'll start the town construction. Put on the perimeter. A road, that will basically cap off the master plan.
Everyone, that's really it for us tonight, but we're very happy to.
Can I just jump in real quick? Because unlike most projects, this project right here, when it comes to minority businesses, is unlike any in the country. The percentages of minority benefits, minority businesses, both female as well as minority business, will benefit from this program. It's the largest percent that I've seen around the country, in addition to the training center. So this is what public-private relationships look like when the community wins.
For everyone we're here for any questions or comments.
So this is a 7-phase project? Is it 7, how many total phases is this will there be?
Just 4 phases.
4 phases?
Yeah, it's right now this is phase 3.
This one's called phase 1 is under construction now, phase 2 is that one, phase 3 is that one, and then phase 4 is on the perimeter townhouse. Correct.
How long is that gonna take to build out?
For which one?
The whole site?
Oh, everybody asked that question. So, how again, you can apply for the money, you can approve for the money.
I know, how long, but I
So,
10 years?
So, that makes sense. So, we're looking at, 2030.
Black City.
That's, 2030 sounds really scary, doesn't it? Like, I hate going past 2030 seems like sci-fi.
You're a huge corporation. You build tall buildings all over campus and all over places. And it hasn't taken you 5 years to get started. Now you're telling us we have another 14 years, 4 years.
4 years.
4 years. When you're doing one
For
building.
all.
Why aren't you doing more than one building?
So we will-
Dragging on and dragging on.
So, and like we said, for the second building, that will start May to June. That will start construction. Then, probably, well, that project, it's another story building. This has a, it doesn't have a parking garage, so let's just say another story building is 16 to 18 months. Well, that's under construction, we'll start the next phase. While that's under construction, or right about the same time that starts, we'll be starting the town rooms. You're really seeing every single building at one time. on the project.
You got a sign up list for everybody that live in that?
Yeah, we had something going.
For the other videos, for example.
I think I signed it. Yeah. You guys could just sign in before you leave, but I just want to go back to your question, and just to add on a little bit of what Tom was saying. The construction part itself does take time, 18, 24 months, but I think maybe kind of what's hard, maybe just for the general member of the public to kind of also appreciate, just because it's the part that's like not really talked about, that's kind of really behind the scenes. It can take a while also just to line up the pre-development process, because a lot of our projects here, we're actually working with the Tampa Housing Authority, with the city of Tampa. We've applied to the state of Florida for financing, and that actually takes time. It takes months. Like right now, for this closing process that I was telling you for phase 4, that hopefully is going to start over the summer, we have been working in the pre-development process for almost a year, if not longer. So it's not just the construction process when you think about, okay, another 4 years, but it's behind the scenes. We also have to apply to, affordable housing financing out there, working with our partners with the city, with the Tampa Housing Authority, to kind of cobble together the financing. And then not only once you have that, but we're working with, it's like 80, 90 people working groups with all the attorneys, all the bank's attorneys, and it's not easy to kind of just like herd 100 people to kind of close on the financing before you even get to the construction process. So that's also why these
It's a process.
exactly these can take a little bit.
If it wasn't with the affordable housing project, that's different. So related, my first 5 years were related. I built 4 50-story condominiums in Miami. 1, 2, 3, 4, all going at one time. Finishing, 7 or 8 months staggered. We're talking 50-story buildings, all in one spot. Because it was private. Basically, bank came, they gave us a loan, we started construction. Then they gave us a loan, started construction. They gave us a loan, started construction. This process is way.
Is, phase 4 includes the MLK Center?
Yeah, it includes the Illinois Police Center as far as we're gonna help paint the exterior, but that's all it includes. We're not gonna develop over it, we're just painting on the exterior.
So it'll still be available for kids? or-
Yes.
Yeah, it's just more just like an improvement on the outside, just so
It's gonna be a lot more than paint, since paint. Because looking at it, paint's not gonna work.
Correct.
We'll do that. No problem taking care of it.
Well, let me add that the West Tampa CRA-CAC Community Advisory Committee, we're looking at putting some money in this place. We put money into South Seniors Park, 1.3 million. We done put 4 million in Knottray Park, built a brand new, we had a death over there last week. Brand new Ray Park, including $1 million outside with the lights, T-gold sidewalks, all of that. Because the city don't have it in their general fund, and we also have targeted this place because, it's got populism, but also, we would like to have our meetings here if it had the adequate acoustics in it. And we're not going anywhere, we don't sunset like East Tampa 2034, our CRA sunsets in 2043. So we're gonna be around here now, because I'm around here now. So, that's what we're looking at. As far as the community benefit agreement, don't require related to paint outside. We already do that. But there are also some other projects going on that really ain't got nothing to do with it. And you saw those trailers over there in that parking lot, that's the West Riverwalk or the West Building. They're the ones that came through and tore up the speaker because they didn't have a West Riverwalk's gonna come right through there, and there's gonna be major work on Rome Avenue. You're not gonna know what Rome Avenue is. If you go down on the south part of Rome now, towards Kennedy, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's having a complete makeover, all the way up here to Columbus Drive. We have ribbon cutting over here under the bridge, with the mat the other day over by the other side of the road. You're gonna be able to come across, and you're gonna come right through it. In addition to that, Ms. Jones, one of our committee members, raise your hand, Ms. Jones, Ms. Jones. She is very interested in about the Soul Walk. I know you may have heard about the Soul Walk. They have a book that tried to steal my recipe for great money, but I told them not to put it in the book. But they have a book, and we're trying to make sure that there's gonna be individual stopping locations that are identified. Why? If you look up on that, board, there's one major thing out there, it's called Cultural Center. That Cultural Center is gonna be, I think it's 19,000 square feet, and it's gonna have programming, and in the community benefit agreement, this is the organizations that are gonna help the programming. One of the owners of Related is the Curry, is a big, collector of art, because there's always art and a related project. You're never not gonna have art and a related project. Just look across the street, what they're doing in West River. But that's got to be programmed, that's gonna be space for the community, to utilize. This will be space where we're sitting at when it gets that get done. This is gonna have to be dealt with, as well. And the Riverwalk is gonna have to connect, because the whole idea is connectivity and exercise and, tying the downtown Orange Works and getting all this integrated where you can go from one side to the other flawlessly, river traffic, water boats, you name it. So it's gonna become a thriving, vibrant community. And that's why the townhouses sit on Rome there with a little buffer from the rest of the residences. Those are gonna be some townhouses that are gonna be built. That was part of a community benefit agreement. And a matter of fact, most of the items you got up there, community benefit agreements. And even setting the AMI, because we had discussion at our meeting about, a person that uses 89% AMI can't afford none of this $500,000 stuff you see going on around in West Tampa. And so, really, there's a market for 30% AMI. We're taking care of that. Well, that's Section 8, so where that's at, which is, this doesn't get there, it's close, but it doesn't get on. And that's why we're pushing for more, instead of knocking everything down to rehab what we got. If a lot of people can't afford to own, or maybe they can pay for what's happening, they can't even afford the rent. So we're trying to get a program to have a rental rehab, so we can keep some of these old homes, so we can have them renovated, but the owner give them some money to rent them to renovate the rent. But the dealers who get the money, get you keep the rent low to like the Section 8 person. So we don't gentrify and run out of here, because even rent now, let alone what they're talking about, the rent now is, even these apartments, the rent now is
One of our first projects, Mary Bethune.
Huh?
One of our first projects, Mary Bethune.
Yeah, that's the seniors. I'm a senior myself now. So, I'm a senior, I don't look at the own senior. But I'm just saying that because Related is just one project here at Rome Yard. We've got West River, and it's not built out yet. There will be, the other thing, this is a major dynamic change for West Tampians. The other big dynamic point, we're gonna have a brand new, for the first time in 30, 40 years, an urban school called Justin Stewart. We don't have to wait to name it. They couldn't change the name the way we did the deal. Judge Stewart gonna be right back over, oh, you got your brick when they knocked down the old lake, because they didn't get a super, but the gym gonna stay there. But we're gonna have a brand new $75 million school, they're over there building it now, I gotta meet somebody in the morning to talk about it. In the morning, we're gonna be talking, they're bringing back Josh Stewart, supposedly pre-K through 8th grade, and then you walk across the street and go to Blake. This will be the only school community where you can go from pre-K and walk across the stage to get a high school diploma, without ever having to leave the neighborhood, to be bussed around. And that was one of the main things I wanted to keep. Yeah, they talking about, oh, they ain't gonna sell Blake, but they ain't gonna sell Blake on the river. That ain't gonna happen. Matter of fact, we've enhanced it. We have the only high school facility in the state of Florida, probably in the nation, where we have a professional women's soccer team. Y'all don't go over there, I don't go over there, but they got a professional women's soccer team play there every night, every other night they got over there. That's happening over here on the west side. And then finally for the children, because my thing is, I'm just having my first grandchild with my brother's here this week ago. One of the other things is, still thinking more about the children and stuff. Over there, right across the way, thanks Mr. Lorenzo back there, we negotiated this, I pushed the pressure with the NFL alumni and the housing authority, very generous, to put a $300,000 obstacle course, an NFL obstacle course, so kids hey, you wanna run the 40, let's see how fast you can go with that light they won't put there, we try to keep up with it. Let you get over there and go through some of those activities that they have in the combine that they don't have to draft, like they have in the draft right now, tonight. So they wanted to have that, they had one for like exercise for the children in the neighborhood, okay? So we're gonna have more children coming out, so we can build them more farms. Now that's just up here. That's coming
very soon, it's in a few months.
Huh? Yeah, I understand. I'm just informing people because, you know, a lot of people say, well, what's going on? Well, now you can't have a bag. When they saw that big tall building over there, they want to know what's going on. So when they didn't see that now, they didn't down to city council, y'all ain't doing nothing. But a lot of financing and a lot of getting stuff done, going through the process, going through, so I understand it. But now that they see that, oh, it's gonna happen. And you'll see more people as both happen. So I'm just letting the community know that you don't just have Rome Yard, you don't just have West River, you got a brand new school going, you got a cultural center gonna come with the Rome Yard. Maybe if Mrs. Myers and I act together, you might have an African cultural center over there to get a deal done with the city to get rid of the reverter clause. And then you're gonna have improvement on Rome Avenue. And you're already seeing improvements within the neighborhood. And a lot of the programs that we have with the West Campus CRA, ICAC money, we just budgeted somewhere around $8 million last night. We made a lot of money to get that West River Walk on, but with our last installment this year, and then that's gonna free up money for other things, for infrastructure, for us to do. Hence, we're looking at getting this building going. Because if the city not gonna come out the general fund, then what we decided is we're gonna enhance our community. We ain't waiting on the city, because we waited on the city to do Ray Park, and to do South Simmons, it was still not be done. So that's what we're doing, Main Street. You seen how we got that paved with the quick build, got it striped up, like the park. I did announce that liquor store up there, getting ready to get sold. And people buying it saying they don't want no liquor store up there, and we don't want nothing like that crossing that park. We're gonna redo that park up there. That was, everybody called the Redden Park. That park was gonna get done. And we're gonna update our study, our community development plan, so we can do all this stuff with all this money we get. So that was just some of the things, and I came to tell you that, 'cause I got another meeting to run to, but to tell you that, so if your business, you know, get the information and mess with it. They also didn't tell you, they have, I think 1,900 square feet, not that much, 2,000, where they're supposed to have for like a bookstore or some small place like that at a reduced market rate, right? You see them shaking head? So that is something else. So, but you know, that's why they have these meetings, so you need to talk to these people and let them know, hey, you're interested and try to figure out what the cost's gonna be for that, because I don't think they set the numbers yet, but this stuff costs a lot of money to do, but because the city put the land up, and because we went through that whole process for over and over, this is a dream come true to me, okay? And then, of course, the other aspect is the crime. I mean, we just had a murder up there, what, 1,000 feet miles on Belmont Street, so, you know, gunfire is rapid around here, especially with these young people. So that's why we want to try to get some of this stuff done, try to get some of these parks done, so try to get these schools built, try to get the amenities here, try to keep the Martin Luther King Center like this lady said, so the children, gymnasium, so they could use it and take that frustration out on the ball, or bat, or something else, but not on a human being, and give them some idea of, you know, leadership, participation. I don't know about the swimming pool, but it's still there, you know. I hope it don't go nowhere, but it's real hot right now. It didn't go as long back and had fallen. So hopefully we'll keep the swimming pool, not maybe we're going to go to the swimming pool to jump. So anyway, that's what I got to say tonight. I hate to cut myself short, but y'all know me. I'm not gonna move around. But this has not been an easy pull to get these people to get what you see out there though at that level. Okay, but we got papers, as the song said, I got papers. We got a community benefit that's locked, stock, down. They got it. They came in here, they found over, everybody said we're moving slow, what's happening, reporting, everybody down there, oh, they ain't doing it anymore. It takes time to put together these complex deals during these times that we got going on here.
I think if you look out there over the last few months, you see how much slowed down.
Yeah, no, you feel, I know, you roll it down, so I'm just trying to say, you know, if they don't do it, you know, I stay right down the street, so I check them on every day, I go by the Rich on the river, but you also know, like you see these other trailers, that's not them, that's the other group, that's
Castle.
huh?
Castle.
That's Pascal. They're the ones doing the West River Bill, the West Law. And you'll see that, you start seeing it coming around, you start seeing sidewalk, you're gonna start seeing right along Blake, right for that track, you're gonna start seeing a trail coming through there. It's gonna pick up where it ends at Blake, and it's gonna come around with Stewart and where just along the river. So you're gonna have plenty of views of the river around here, including some of the stuff they do in here. You're gonna have river views. And that's something that we want because this area is a slum and blight area according to the definition of, I know some people don't think that, but it's a slum and blight area. But now we're getting, everybody wanna come up here, everybody wanna get involved. But our mission is to make sure that the low income, medium income, and one of the best parts, we was blessed by God Almighty to have on this thing. I've been doing this for 50 years. The best part that we have for all of this is Tampa Hospital. If it wasn't for the man sitting back there, Lorenzo, Jerome Ryan, and all the people that was there during the time, this wouldn't be happening. But because they vision to see, hey, let's get the projects knocked down and bring back something to people. And one of the main deals, I'm gonna shut up and go after that, so I know y'all come to get in, but you don't need to get in, was that we didn't want to be a food desert. We didn't want to be all these stores around here ripping and Hines, you know, selling all this other stuff. So we negotiated, and Mr. Paris, I never forget, said, man, I whispered in and said, you need this stuff? He said, I'm gonna look at it, man, come on, man, you got the deal, you got West River, you got Long Dark, and we got the colors down. And they have people of color down there, and they have students down working there. And they train over a year at another color. So you know that they trained before they got there at another color. So one down there by Tax Street and another. So that's what I want to see. Okay? I want to see that come over here. I want to see people make some money because I told them I don't want to dime nothing. And I didn't say on none of this from y'all. I had to commit to do that. I told them that. I told everybody that. I don't need nothing. I go
Are those specific units in that building, or are those
They're-
different levels, or are they just on the first floor?
No, they're all gonna be throughout the building. So
So
it's,
they're built to that specifications of that?
So if you pay, it's gonna work the same.
It's gonna all look the same?
So we don't build down a little bit for the lower.
Okay,
Right.
that's what I'm asking.
So what the person paying,
So the one at 140 gets the same type of unit as one at 20? Okay.
yes.
So it's equal?
Yes, same.
Great, thank you.
If I may, I don't do this very often, but, I'm thinking back on what Joe Robinson said, I think Williams, we have a small, video production company. I'm at the owner going our project. I had a hard time with it at first. I thought, talk to them, it turns out that it was going really slow. And what happened is, they had a lot of turnover in staff. And even though I had a contract 5 years ago, I never got pulled in. To talk to them, I actually got, I hate to say the word, but I got an apology from Related because they didn't utilize our services. And, we talked about it, renegotiate everything. I am now starting on this job, ready for my second, session of work on this job coming up, in a week or two or so. And I worked with Related before, another project, the Housing Authority project, and Related directly in Orlando. And, what I've seen over the years, many years now, the whole, Main Street project, all those, Boom, Renaissance, all of that, they've been really good to everybody I've talked to. I haven't had any complaints from any other subcontractors, so, I'm all for it. I appreciate the honesty they came, there was no him hauling around, they just told me what happened. Sorry we did this, sorry we left you out, let's go ahead and make it happen. They did, I'm on the job working now, so I'm all for it.
everyone, if there's no more questions, well, thank you guys so much for coming. I'm happy to provide you guys.
When is the completion of, this phase?
The one under construction,
Right,
July of next year,
July.
2027.
And that's when the next phase will start?
No, that's, she just asked when the crew phase of construction is gonna be finished. It's gonna be finished in July of next year.
The other one started this year.
Starting,
The other one's starting this year, this summer.
Oh, that's the townhouse?
no, townhouse is sort of like that. The next building is that long one.
The long one.
This one, kind of along Oregon Ave. This is phase
That's
4.
gonna start.
This summer. And this one here should be done next summer, July of 2027.
All right.
Where's the retail at, the orange?
So there's gonna be retail throughout actually the entire development. So even at the base of currently room 3A, we have some retail. At phase 4, we have some retail. We're also gonna have some retail at the garage. And also at the other phases that we're doing as well.
And who manages the leasing of the retail space? When did,
So it's gonna be through us as well, through the related urban development group. We've actually had a little bit of interest already, preliminary interest from members of the community that want to offer services, spaces. Right now, it's a little bit kind of early, just given that we're almost like a year away of being done with the first building. But we're taking at least like interest, preliminary interest from the perspective of community members, if they have stores or, things of that nature. But happy to have further discussions, or if you know of anybody, you want to just share the confidence, we're happy to take that now.
When will you start leasing?
So, it's a great